Hey, it's Guard here, and I'm going to do a new video on winterizing because I made a couple little changes, and I just want to show you what we got going on. So over here, to start the process, I'd like to have 2 gallons of antifreeze. You can almost do it with 1.5, but 2 is nice, gives you a little extra. You want to make sure that it says RV and marine antifreeze, and it says for potable water plumbing systems. You want to make sure it says that, not tar antifreeze. So we got that, and this is one of my new little additions, and I'll show you about this later on in the video. But the first thing I want to do is start the process of just draining stuff. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to open my low point drains. Now, different coaches, they're in different locations. This is a 22C model, and it's the lithium batteries. So my batteries here, my water tank's below, but this is my drains right here. On different models, they're going to be different places. So I just turn these 2 handles so they're parallel to the pipe. That opens it up and it's draining. So if we look underneath here, you can see that it's draining now. All right. And the next thing I want to do, I should have done it the other way first, but I didn't, is get underneath here and open up my freshwater tank. So if you can see, there's a valve here. I turned it, and now my freshwater tank's draining. The draining of the freshwater tank is probably the longest part of the process, depending on how much water's in it. If it's a full tank, it could probably take you almost maybe a half hour, it seems like, to drain, because it's going through a little tiny hole in the valve. The next thing I'd like to do is, with no pressure on the water system, is just to hook up my outside shower, because it's easy to do that when there's no water pressure. If there's water pressure, it's a little tougher. So this is the part, and then one more thing to drain. We're going to go inside and do the Truma. I like to just take out this drawer. For me, it's the easiest way to get there. I have a video showing how to do this. If you don't know how to do it, it has to do with these little catches here. So there's another video I have on how to install and take out the drawers, if you need help with that. All right. On a we're going to do the combi now. The Truma combi. We have to drain it. On the rear bath, it's in a different location, but on the couch model, the dinette model, it's in the same location. It's right up under here, and there's a couple ways of doing it. Some people take this grate and they put magnets on it where you just pop it on and off. I just do it the old-fashioned way. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this so it's parallel to that pipe. That's the Truma drain. And after it drains, we're then going to turn these 2 valves and bypass, these 3 valves and bypass it. But let's just let that sit for a little bit until it stops draining. So let's go outside now. Now that's the Truma draining right there. That's where the Truma drains. So while it's doing this, we're just going to let it sit, and we'll continue the winterization after this is done. All right, so the Truma's done draining, the low points are done, and my freshwater tank's still draining, but that's not important. We just let it continue. And we're going to now close the Truma and bypass the Truma. And I went and I got me some nice foam to kneel on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to close the Truma drain like that. Yep, so there's the Truma drain, and it's yellow, but the LED makes it look white. So I have that closed. We're now going to, here, pull the camera back a little. We're going to open the bypass, and then we're going to close the output and the input. The input is the blue line going in, the output's the red. On some Beyonds, they don't have a bypass, and on some of them, the blue handle valve is before the bypass, which is a better way of doing it. But there it is. Now the Truma is bypassed. That's closed, and that's open, and the Truma is closed. So now we can start the next step. All right, the next step is to make sure all your faucets are closed. I had that open because it makes it easier to drain. So I'll close that, and I make sure that the bathroom is closed. So that's closed. Now we're going to go outside and start the rest of it. All right, so the next step is we're going to put in the antifreeze. And to do that, you want to make sure that your low point drains, that the drain handle is crosswise. So I have it there on my blue and on my red. That'll keep the water, the antifreeze, from draining out. And then this white line, this goes to my freshwater tank, and this is the antifreeze pickup, the winterization pickup. There's a valve on it, and you want to close this valve so that it won't draw from the freshwater tank. It'll draw from this hose. And while I was at the Ocala rally, somebody showed me this. I can't remember their name. I wish I did, and I'd love to give them credit for it. If you watch the video and you see this, let me know. I'd love to thank you. But I got a little barb. It's a hose barb with the threads on it, and it matches the plug that seals the hose here, because you can't put this in the antifreeze bottle. But by doing this, I can screw that on, seal that up, and now we can do our antifreeze. I can just stick it in just like that. So much better. Now this is where it gets to be a little tricky, because you need to turn on the water pump. And some vans, you have a switch in the back, you can do it, which is really nice. But in this case, Deb's going to go inside, and she's going to go in there, and I'll tell her to turn on the water pump. And when she does that, it's going to drain out of this bottle here, and it will fill up the lines as much as possible. So there she is. Turn on the water pump. All right, now you can see the bucket, the bottle's being empty right now. It's going in all into the lines. And it stopped because it's pretty much filled up there, but there's air in the line. So Deb, stay right there for a second. I'm gonna come outside here and do the outside shower. I also changed the handle on that. And when the pink starts coming out, there we go, pink. So that's done. And you can see that the bottle is almost half gone. All right, so Deb. Okay, so Deb, go ahead and fix the sink there.
Turn on the sink till I see pink.
Yeah, move that, yeah, out of the way. All right. Okay, so now what Deb's going to do is she's going to open up the faucet there in the kitchen, first on the hot side, and run it till pink comes out. Okay, that's pink. And now do the other side. You gotta wait for it to come out. All right, there's pink. Okay. And as you can see, I've got that much antifreeze left. All right, so Deb, let me come around there. All right, so then the next step, Deb's gonna open up the faucet until pink comes out. All right, and then on the other side, it'll be first pink, then it'll go white. There we go.
Okay.
And now let's do the toilet. All right, so there's that. Like I said, that pretty much took that whole bottle. That's why you need 2 gallons. Okay, so now this is the second gallon. Okay. This is a good stopping point because you want to check this every once in a while. Now, if you have a shower miser, this is where you would, now you've done all this, you want to run the water through your shower miser. So what you'd have to do is go in there and adjust it to, I forget what they call it. One is divert, and let it run for a few minutes, and then run it back to operate, and then make sure you have pink water come out your shower head, because you have a separate shower. I don't have that, so that would cover that. So at this point, we have antifreeze in the outside shower, the kitchen sink, the bathroom sink, the toilet, and if you do those extra steps, you'll have it in the shower head and the water miser. So that pretty much does everything. What we're going to do now is I'm going to take this leftover antifreeze and we're going to pour it in some of the drains. There's already been some pink in there, but the main thing is you want to get it like in the shower and then some in the toilet. So I think that would be it. So let's just take a look at that. I think this is pretty much all we're really going to need. I didn't need to open this up so much, but I really did in a way. If I was going to do the shower miser. So let me unscrew this. Flinging antifreeze everywhere. And I'll put the little barb back in it, the plug. And at this point, this is all ready to go for winter. We're going to go inside the van and we're going to pour some antifreeze in those drains. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to just we'll pour the rest of this in the kitchen sink. Okay. We're going to come into the bathroom. We're just going to pour some in the sink here. That just fills up the little waterless trap there. And we're going to pour some in the shower drain. Okay. And then we're going to pour some in the toilet. Alright. You always want to keep something in the toilet to keep that black gasket moist, because if it dries out, it'll start leaking, you'll smell your black tank, and water won't stay in there. I'll have another video on that about how to treat that valve, the gasket, so watch for that video. But at this point, all we gotta do is clean up. We're done winterizing. I mean, it's not a very hard process. Please don't pay somebody $150, $200 to do this. If you have any questions, just leave a comment in the video. I'll gladly walk you through any of the processes that you need help with. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Go out and have a great day. See America. It's a wonderful place, and I'll see you on the road, hopefully. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for a good video, Guard.
My pleasure.